Start over. It's 10:40 something. 10:52 p.m. Thursday, November 7th, 2024. I don't believe there's anything actually happening outside, and I'm being taken by someone that like sits out in their car and does this like rumble, brum brum, and like if you had them roll their window down or whatever, there would be no music playing. That's how you could prove that they're just like full of shit. There's no music. It's just isolated, weaponized bass noise going, like, pulsing into your fucking brain. And yeah, after a long time and you're trying to think, it like pisses you off. And that's just like the natural human reaction of it. So I'm restarting the video. I wanted to talk about this, like, somebody's trying to scam people, maybe make them, like, dispatch themselves or something. Imagine it's, like, they want to use this on dissidents and atheists and non-believers and critics, people that have caught on in the 21st century to like just exactly how bullshit everything is. And it's to, like, religion has always been used to just sort of control people for something you would not have just done on your own, or they wouldn't have needed to do this. Like, make you marry certain people, make you have a certain lifestyle, make you do certain jobs, make you carry out certain rituals that you don't realize what they actually are for. Yeah, we all thought we were having a bonding experience. No, somebody was getting you together to play Tetris, and when there's enough people, they knock out the whole group. If you had known that, you wouldn't have wanted to play Tetris. Yeah, and that's for, like, if you're religious or not, you could care what happens to people, right? So yeah, the idea that some people are shepherd and some people are sheep, and the person that plays shepherd is a fucking asshole, dude. So, like, don't be a sheep. They're not really trying to help you. Of course you're lost and alone. They isolated you on purpose. Like, that was the point. Cruelty was the point of whatever the fuck someone else is trying to do to people. Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, leave a world that's just them and their grandkids. It's like a capitalist thing, and they just used religion to get what they wanted because they didn't actually care. You know, if you are really a believer, you might, like, give a fuck that you're being manipulated. There's all sorts of possibilities. But it's because in, like, 11th or 12th grade, we had a health teacher who did not look exactly like Dr. Fauci. I know it's not Dr. Fauci. It's just an easy way to, like, illustrate. Kind of looked like that guy. White hair, smaller build, but kind of still, like, and, like, everyone knows what Dr. Fauci looks like, right? You remember? Or did you forget because he's, like, disappeared in the last couple years? Like, no one even says his name anymore. And it was, like, every single day for... he kind of looked like that guy, Doppelganger Land. he taught us about The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And yeah, it's a book endorsed by Oprah. It was like really popular back in like 2007, 2008. People liked the idea that you could just like really, really want a car and somehow you ended up getting a car. It wasn't even just like goal setting and then you carry out. Like if you want a car, you say, I want a car. How do I get a car? I ask friends. I beg for help. I go to social services that might donate a car. I go to work and save up money and try to get one. Maybe a combination of all three, you end up with a car. A friend sells you their old car. But that's like, you take steps. The Secret essentially was like, you don't even take steps, you just like want it really, really bad. Like you pray pretty much without the religious part in it, and you end up with what you wanted. So this idea, like magically appearing kind of stuff. The law of attraction, you bring it into your life because you thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And then they can use the say, oh, you're so negative, you're so pessimistic, that's why bad things keep happening to you. And that's how they silence like critics with legitimate issues, people who are justifiably angry. Like someone that's been fucked over by the justice system is gonna have a lot to say. And then someone can act like, oh, you're just so negative, and that's why your life sucks, and like write you off and walk away from you and not do a fucking thing about it. That's demented. It's almost like that's what they did to Black Lives Matter as a whole. Like all these people had like legitimate things to say, and the only thing people remember now is like people burning stuff down and smashing windows, when that wasn't even like, yeah, the chaos that was caused, and not the point. And not even like considering the idea that someone had come in and fucked with those protests to make them even more like you're like playing music and someone came in and turned it all the way up and then had a special speaker system that like blasted everybody to death. No one will even consider that that's what happened. Like it was hijacked, swooped, usurped in some way to create this like super negative effect on people when they just had the music up, like, and it would have been fine. That is a good way to explain it, because I keep talking about the fucking people screwing with me outside here, but they're not even playing music. They're like doing some weaponized sound frequency thing that like drives you crazy. You have to do something, because otherwise you'll sit here and have to go boom, 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 boom in your fucking head for hours. So you got to do something. It makes you do things. Either you're going to go to sleep and wear earplugs, and even then, like, now I feel like I'm like screaming in my own head just to talk now. Just to have basic getting the words out. It's like I'm yelling in my own head because I have to shove earplugs in my fucking ears to not hear that interrupting my thoughts. And they've been doing it on purpose for years. There's no way the police doesn't know. There's no way the fire department doesn't know. That the neighborhood associate, like anyone that is anywhere around here just doesn't know. They're full of shit. They would have heard it too. So yeah, and I'm just like, you know what, that's good, because I haven't explained it before like that. Like it was taking the volume and then somebody wheeling in like a stadium acoustic system and blasting that at people, and then acting like that was all on purpose for the, like that's what the organizers wanted or something. Yeah, the little fires burning on the side of the fence that had the National Guard or whoever it was. Then you had the fence, and you had the protesters. And the little fires could have been stomped out with their boots. They could have gone inside and gotten a fire extinguisher, and they let the little fires burn because it looked crazy on camera. It was like you could, if you looked on the ground, just like in video, I wasn't there. I'm just watching it every day for 100 days in a row, and then hearing the shit outside my windows. So it was like being like sound attacked, and then everything was going on like 13 blocks away from here. But you could see it if you looked. Like they could have stomped it out with their foot. It was like a couple pieces of newspaper or something. Yeah, it wasn't like some big ass. Nothing burned down. And people got like it all tangled together. And then even, I think it's people that they wanted to have some negative shit to say, so they use the excuse. And that's why they're not even like second guessing how it could have been orchestrated to be like more negative than people ever intended it to be. They won't even consider it because they wanted to hate it. Anyway, so The Secret, the law of attraction stuff, and then fast forward to like the winter between 2017 and 2018. I went to the dispensary. I'm a medical patient. I'm a licensed bud tender. I live in a legal state. Went to the dispensary. I asked for like, did you have anything cheaper? Because I was broke. It was like Christmas. And they went behind the cash register and pulled out these two like 1 gram things of dabs. They were only selling for $6.50 each, and it was the same strain, it was the exact same thing, just 2 of them. I bought both of them, came back, and I mean, there could have been something on my door handle. There could have been something I interacted with on the way home that also influenced this experience. But when I did the dabs, which I don't anymore, like, have gone RSO, or it has to be like a cartridge. I don't I don't have even stuff to fuck around with, and I don't smoke anymore. Just to clarify stuff. I remember they tasted different from each other, even though they were the same thing. One had like a weird taste to it, and you know, they were so cheap. I wonder why. And yeah, I don't know that I want to say I don't know that it's the brand's fault necessarily, but like, whether I should put that in here, like, it wasn't a brand I see all the time. It wasn't like the big, there's like Buddies and Farmer's Friend, and there's like some big brands. It's not a big brand. Anyway, I remember having like some kind of effect where it was like I was outside of my own body, and there was like I was purple and gray with like my face smudged. It had like a hallucinogenic effect. That's not regular. That's not what you should expect. There was something weird that is different, that isn't supposed to happen. And then it went through to like having all these issues, couldn't leave my apartment for a month. And during that time, which is not the issue now, by the way, I couldn't leave my apartment now because of COVID. And then while I've been inside because of COVID shit, people have been fucking with me like around my building the whole time. This isn't like a drugs thing. And if they're trying to make it a drugs thing, there's some kind of recovery lab that has some fucking agenda that's trying to use me for their agenda. And they should get fucked for doing that. Yeah, I mean, the same people that sabotaged Measure 110, I bet. Anyway, like, it's so obvious to me. I'm just like writing to the future. Like, this is probably what really happened here. You should like care. So like I was on the internet during this like weird state this month of like some medical issue, and yeah, and my like people were on the phone with me saying weird shit to me, and like they were like playing into it for some reason, like my own family. And then which, yeah, in some ways I should have never talked to them again after I graduated from school. I didn't even grow up with them. I could have just never talked to them again and lived my own life. What am I trying to say? So there's a biocentrism theory, and I don't know, it's like something from Facebook must have brought me to the biocentrism theory thing. Because, like, I don't know how else that could have happened. Yeah, I think people went through a big show to, like, fuck with me. But I can't prove it so much. Just, like, they had a good time at my expense. And that really sucks. A display of power or something. Like, let's see what we can do to people. Yeah, fuck this. And so the biocentrism thing, it's a theory by a scientist named Robert Lanza. He worked on the Dolly the sheep cloning thing. And I sort of liked the idea that, like, you have, so, like, your consciousness continues forward. If you think of a train going down a track, it hits something, there's, like, the moment of impact, and it hits, and it's crumbling into, like, down the bridge and into the water. And then, but your consciousness is the train still intact, moving forward past the event. So you could have died 100 times, and you just keep branching through possible timelines where you're still alive. And you don't really experience your death until you've, like, run out of timelines. Think of, like, a Plinko board, and you drop the thing, and it shifts, every, like, loop is shifting the timeline until you end up in some ending. And maybe the ending you wanted was all the way over here, but based on stuff that happened, you can't get there, so you end up... They're just trying to use metaphors to illustrate the idea. It's not something you don't have to believe this. It's like a sci-fi imagining that someone came up with. Like, save it for the sci-fi. But someone wanting people to take it seriously. And then using you like a prophet for their new religion. And then what would they want to do to people? Like, make them kill themselves. But they thought they were going to live. And then you dispatched an enemy, or someone you thought was an issue, or what the fuck ever. So yeah, I feel like I need to say that, like, and it's also people like the L. Ron Hubbard thing, the fastest way to make $1 million is to start your own religion. Somebody going out of their way to say that I was like the Witch of the North, and there's like the divine feminine was gonna come into manifestation, and like I feel like they were playing like a key role in trying to build this like fake religion or something to get people to, well, do whatever they wanted. It's whatever they wanted. Once they have your beliefs, they can make you do what the fuck ever. Have me like get really upset, and then on the news suddenly there's like a hurricane somewhere, and now they're scared of you. Like you control the weather. For example. And like I think if there's ever like a real person trying to really help anybody, which is what a savior is supposed to do, right? They're like saving you from stupidity. They're gonna be like, that's not how shit works. They can always, yeah, there's a real hurricane and they labeled it something so you would attach it to the person they've targeted as like the prophetess. And now you think it's spooky. Yeah, there are some things that are genuinely spooky. And it's like, that's, the universe is naturally spooky. But that's not the same thing as like saying somebody has magic powers and then using that to like fuck with people. And they just wanted you to be even like dumb enough to believe it. You'd have to be like a fucking megalomaniac narcissist yourself to like let people believe that. That's what like Prince Philip let the Falkland Islands think, that he was a god. He knows he's not a god, or knew, because he's dead now, right? He knew he wasn't a god. He never corrected them, and apparently they still think that. And that's fucked up. Yeah, I don't want to be that person. And it's just like, they'll find someone who does, who thinks it's like super fun. Gonna be really cool to like watch people jump off a bridge because they think they're gonna fucking live through it. They're not living through that. That's fucked up. Yeah, I don't want to contribute to death and murder and destruction. Thanks. I want to contribute to science and life and empowerment and universal human rights. Yeah, what good could you have ever done with that kind of like belief system? Because I mean, in what world is there even like a positive interpretation of any of this shit? People, when they feel lost and alone, what are you supposed to say to them? I guess, like, I only see the ways that you can use it to, like, convince people to, like, do scary things where they might have died. Like, you're gonna walk this tightrope that has no net at the bottom. Because it's really entertaining for people. And you would never have chosen to do that. But somebody convinces you of this stupid fucking theory, and you got people walking tightropes with no net, and maybe they survive and shit, and they use that as like confirmation bias. They lived, but the ones that, and they just like disregard the people that didn't live. Decide that they're living out another timeline where they are still alive, I guess, is how that's supposed to work. I mean, all of this stuff is like Googleable. I didn't make it up. Somebody else made it up. I just found it, or was taught this shit somehow. Yeah, a way to fuck with your head and take up all your time. Because you'll spend your whole life thinking, like, those bastards did this to me, instead of, like, how life actually works. Maybe. Well, because, like, the same teacher that had us watch, or had us learn about The Secret, had us watch the movie Philadelphia, where the guy gets AIDS and dies. I mean, if something really negative happened to you, like you got an illness and died, I mean, are you supposed to think it's because they had you watch that fucking movie? And then you can see how that can crumble if they didn't like rock and roll, and they didn't like the movies, and they wanted to control people's like media experience on some level. Have somebody to blame. That could be like an angle, like why the fuck they did this, or came up with this shit. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think Oprah specifically had that intention, but like she facilitated a lot of things that ended up, I wonder if like people did that to her on purpose, is how you should think about it. Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil. These are not really positive influences on history. It's like you took Jerry Springer and medicine and mixed them together. Yeah, the shit was popular at the time, but a lot of people see through it now. Yeah, I mean, it gets serious when, like, Dr. Oz was running for something back in like 2020, right? I mean, what the fuck? Elon Musk is about to be in like the fucking presidential cabinet. That's not supposed to happen, guys. Yeah, I would never want some Jim Jones shit. The ending to Umbrella Academy. They've got these two characters with the serial killer glasses and stuff. They do some like fucking cult thing. No, never, 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 never. There's some joke running through music where it like it alludes to things in a similar like. I just like it all compounds on itself into something, whether they meant it or not. Yeah, you can see how easy that would be too. The musician, they're like channeling the vibrations of the universe to make music, and there's somebody like on the other side of their wall whispering shit at them, and they turn it and like, or on their social media, or they got to them somehow, and it influences the stuff they put out, and there was no intention necessarily to like create some work that like had that sort of influence on people. It just was like good song lyrics, and then the next thing you know, it's like, oh shit, I didn't even know what I said when I wrote that poem. I mean, I've literally had that experience myself. Now that you interpret it that way, yeah, like the song "We Are God" by Childish Gambino. Beautiful song. Uses bits from they're calling it Alta Vista. He put out an album in 2020 that just had numbers. And had like algorithms and time running out imagery and stuff. And I mean, I really liked that album. But there's like, it uses bits from that album and turns it into a new song. And then at the end, there's this girl that says, "We can all go. We can all go." And you imagine her standing in front of a giant crowd of people drinking Kool-Aid. Like, you don't want that. It's not really funny. And I'm not blaming him. Who knows what the inspiration was? But, like, no. You should, rage against the dying of the light, right? Don't let somebody do this shit to you is, like, the best advice I can offer. If they want you to die, they don't have your best interest. Fuck war. Yeah, fuck some idea that you have to sacrifice yourself to be a good person. Yeah, don't let them to depress you to death either. And somebody comes up with the idea that it's romantic to commit suicide. No. 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 You say no. Fuck you. I'm gonna live to be 120. And like, who's gonna be mad about that? That'll show it's the truth somehow. Like, oh, they didn't want you to live to be 120. That's weird. How are you so invested in when I'm supposed to die? Like, that you're mad that I wanted to live. That's weird. Yeah, you had people out here in fucking 2020 yelling, like, get out, go home. but also like wash your hands, like they were like fucking some Pontius Pilate thing and shit. I mean, it's like they put on like a pretend apocalypse on the fucking street. Yeah, you had somebody that came under my window and said, if you're here, you're dead. Like, I think they wanted you to think that you had died so that they could manipulate you. Yeah, I'm just telling on you to the future, I guess, because no one is going to clearly, like, admit it or give a fuck now, are they? Yeah, the idea, that was practice. It's going to get so much worse. That's horrifying. I mean, it's not like you've been able to fucking, even you get on the fucking internet and do a live stream. How many people at a time ever fucking see this thing? How conveniently controlled, yeah. Well, Elon Musk owns X/Twitter. Jeff Bezos owns Twitch, right? Something called ByteDance is getting sued to not own TikTok anymore. Suddenly motorcycles. Yeah, like, regardless of intention, does that not sound like somebody yelling at you? Like they're mad? Just all of a sudden out of fucking nowhere? Google owns YouTube and the blog I've had since I was fucking 16. I mean, we made our Google accounts in school. It was like a lesson in class for computer class. To like, they had us use our name even. Like, that was the, like, you're gonna open a Google account, you're gonna use your name, you have to follow these steps. That was the lesson. I had the same fucking email the whole time. So it's like my entire life is like, yeah, I'm just telling you the truth. I don't fucking, sometimes you don't know what the truth means, but I'm telling you the truth. Who owns what other platform? Oh, so go back to ByteDance for a second. Because they keep like saying it's like it's a company in China or something, but there's like 4 different investment companies. One of them is called Susquehanna, right? Which is like the river in Pennsylvania. I don't, yeah, I'd have to do more research on it. I do remember that though. Like, that's, you're acting like everything's like some other country or some shit. And I don't know, yeah, TikTok was weird for a minute. Like, it felt like people had somehow, like, they had algorithmed you into a pocket, and then in that pocket it was people that looked like people you had known, mimicking them, sounding like them, talking like them, gesturing like them, somehow did some kind of matchy thing And it was fucking weird. Yeah, I put it like, it's almost as if someone was going to make a movie of my life, and this was the casting. And these people were going to play the characters of the real people. That's how, like, fucking creepy it was. Motorcycle, that fart sound, I think that's the bus, and they do it on purpose. It might be a truck. How long is it going to take them to go through the intersection? And they're just going... Boo. Yeah, bet you you end up getting gassed in your apartment in the next, like, 20 minutes. Especially if you shut off the fucking recording or something. Because it's happened, like, over and over again through 2020. It will be, like, a blessing if I don't get cancer from and they can't trace what I got cancer from. But I've been, like, gassed in my apartment by all sorts of weird shit for 4 years. Yeah, there's like a meme on the internet that's like, I'm telling God. Like, pretty much. Who is there to tell? I'm telling God on you. But I put it like, I'm telling the future on you. Because, yeah, I mean, if no one's going to help me now, they're never going to help me. They're too in on it. They have too much to lose by just being honest or something. They're never gonna fucking, like, stop. Yeah, I'm not trying to die anytime soon. I really should be able to live to, like, 100 years old. I'm 34. What else can I add to this, though? I don't know, I'm gonna take a break for a second and come back. That's the thing. Yeah, you go record the sounds of the fucking situation and shit. If they do weird shit. What else can you... I don't know who owns Discord. People from Twitch keep trying to, like, drag me to Discord. That's happened like multiple times now. Who owns Discord? Jason Citron and Stanislav Vishnevsky. Just like independent humans. Rumors that Microsoft will take over it. Who owns ByteDance? 60% is beneficially owned by global institutional investors like Carlyle Group, General Atlantic, and Susquehanna International Group. The rest by Zhang. So, there's a fundamental misunderstanding of what the fuck. Headquartered outside of Philly. I was right, it's a Pennsylvania thing. Carlisle has a bunch of shit. Washington, D.C. Well, isn't that a little disingenuous? Like, they're bitching and moaning about ByteDance and they're making them sell it and everything. Susquehanna, outside of Phil. Like, okay, go back to this first. Who owns ByteDance? Carlyle, General Atlantic, and Susquehanna. 60%, like more than half the fucking company. New York, Washington. Sorry, the video's bad. New York, General Atlantic, Washington, Carlyle Group, and outside of Philly for Susquehanna. Yeah, people are full of shit. They're full of shit. They're just full of shit. Yeah, you wonder who's gotten rich at your expense. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, it is bullshit when you, like, can't eat, you're facing possible eviction threats. You can't, like, fucking, people keep, like, yelling, go home out. So where's home supposed to be? Where's home supposed to be? I've been in fucking Portland, Oregon since 2012. Longer than I have lived anywhere else. Anywhere else. What are you screaming, go home at me for? Fucking bullshit. Yeah, whoever the fuck is on a motorcycle screaming through the night, stalking my fucking building. Yeah, who wants to feel like they own the fucking planet? And had the resources to pay, like, anybody to do whatever the fuck they wanted, obviously. Are there any other companies I'm not thinking of that are major? I feel as of 2024, I think that's it. You know, like, no one uses LiveJournal anymore. No one really uses Tumblr anymore. No one uses What other, like, people used to use MySpace. No one uses MySpace anymore. I think people still use Facebook, but it got weird. And, like, you need to look at the correlation of the Arab Spring revolution that said, like, that happened because of Facebook, which is, like, a good thing. And then the corruption of whatever the fuck the Cambridge something, the data, selling your data thing, Cambridge Analytica. Yeah, you could. Any tool can be used for good or evil, but it was better to have a network where you at least had like some, only like fingertips connection to people. If it wasn't like strong, it was at least like by the fingertips, and now it's just completely like they'd have to be stalking you almost to like keep up with your stuff. I hate the idea of like kids and someone just comes up to them and says, "Hey, you're poor. I'm going to give you $1 million and you're going to do whatever I tell you to do." And that's all it is. Plain and simple. Like, they're like, okay. And there's nothing about like, no, I would never do that to somebody, even for $1 million. They'll be like, no, okay. Because they want $1 million. And they think that's going to even last forever. And money is completely like, when people really wake up about the money thing, we're fucked. Yeah, and that doesn't mean, oh, invest in gold, because you could just choose not to. It's like human rights. You can just not acknowledge them, and I guess they're not there. Yeah, you're not supposed to get tortured, but someone can still kick you in the face and get away with it. Yeah, that's too bad. I think I'm exactly who I need to be. You were trying to design a savior. Well, I think I'm like my own best friend. So I needed me to exist. Thanks. Who or what else? I just need to like take care of all the stuff on this fucking little table. Yeah. Fucking annoying. I don't know what motorcycles are about, except police have them, and cults have them, and assholes have them. And I'm sure a bunch of nice people have them too. But they're probably not going in circles around your building all night long, revving their fucking engine and shit. The nice ones. Yeah, it's almost like they're just rubbing it in your face that there's nothing you can do about it. They've got everybody on a fucking puppet string. Well, I was trying to, like, social media. What else is there? YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. There's Telegram or something, but it never worked for me. Yeah, and that's like an app that appears suddenly during like a protest movement. Never heard of it before. And then like, I mean, how obvious is that? They probably use that to like fuck with people. Because that's the first time I've ever heard anybody talk about Telegram. Or TikTok, or Twitch. But apparently TikTok and Twitch had been around for like a couple years before 2020. I thought of them as like a 2020 thing. Zoom for like work stuff. I thought that was a 2020 thing. Well, how fucked could it possibly... Like, 7 to 15 million people died, but at the same time, people got, like, an ad campaign in for their, like, apps? I guess? Yet, how long after the Holocaust was it till people were like, 6 million people died, and they gave a fuck about it? How long did that take? I guess, how do I phrase that question? Like, how long did it take to count the dead? This says there was 11 million victims in the Holocaust. 6 million Jewish and 5 million non-Jewish. But then it says it's the Illinois Holocaust Museum. When referencing the total number of victims, say 6 million Jews and millions of others. So they don't even have a fucking clue. Look, at least according to, like, you know, this is an official state museum thing. The Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center. The correct number is probably between 30 and 35 million deaths, maybe more. The death toll of the former Soviet Union is generally regarded as 27 million people. Best when referencing the total number to say 6 million Jews and millions of others. All Holocaust organizations are making a united move to adhere to this message. That is really fucked. What? Yeah, I mean, you're saying 7 to 15, that even throws it into like, honey, that was phase 1. I hope you make it through phase 2 of fucking whatever the fuck COVID is. How could you expect to? You've been inside and isolated for 4 fucking years. What, they're gonna kill everybody outside, and as long as you stay inside, you were safe? How demented is that? You're supposed to like just chill and let it happen. Yeah, either you're being killed or they're killing other people and you're supposed to like wait. Neither of those is a delightful option. Estimation of victims. Yet 4.5 is a big, really different number than 80,000 Freemasons. What? 50,000, 500,000 Romani, 270,000 disabled people. I mean, so 17 million total people, according to Wikipedia. Yeah, that, which to me says they don't know how many people died, okay? They don't know. How many people died during the 1918 thing? Yeah, it's almost like we do a Holocaust all the time. 50 million people worldwide died within a year. So yeah, this planet, they just kill people on the planet all the time. Is that it? And then you've been listening to Hassan Piker and Democracy Now! Talk about fucking genocide, I mean, endlessly. Is it just a way to, like, put your feelings somewhere? Because why the fuck aren't you bringing up this being a genocide? We talk about genocide every single day, just a different one. Which is also important and horrific, but, like, that can't be a fucking coincidence. Yeah, get over whatever the fuck COVID was. Pay attention to this instead. What? Well, if you're gonna die anyway, you might as well speak your fucking piece. Of course, if that's really happening, of course somebody doesn't want you around. Because no one else is saying it. They found a reason to accept it. Well, you're hypocrites and you're full of shit. Because every day you, like, unite against genocide for somebody else, you let these other people die. You're liars. You either care about everybody or you're liars. Yeah, what happens when the world is run by, like, psychopaths that want everybody to feel like them? They'll make you do deranged shit. Because otherwise they would feel alone and judged. They make everybody do deranged shit, and then you're just as deranged as the fucking people in charge. Who have probably been in charge since 1950. I mean, like, when I get really upset, I'm like, 100 years from today, it'll be the year 2124. And even if you were born today, you will probably be dead by the year 2124. And maybe that's for the best. By then, there's a possibility that we will like never do any of this shit again. Unless people continue to keep passing up forward some shit. Yeah, it would require someone to be born and somebody is in their life telling them to like giving them orders. But if the orders stop, then that's like the soonest date it's possible for this mentality to be done. Yeah, what do you need people to remember so they don't repeat it? Like, they need to know the truth of, like, some cyclical annual cleansing event. And that's wrong. And you never do this again. Because otherwise, it's easy to imagine, like, a whole new civilization, they're going to repeat the same fucking mistakes. And this is a mistake. This is a crime against existence. So you have to at least pass on enough knowledge and in such a way that they know not to do it. Like, it's the knowledge and the association that it's wrong. Yeah, other you get, oh, that's a good idea. Let's do that. No, don't do that. Ever. It shouldn't have happened now. It shouldn't happen later. Yeah, the people are going to be against you because they're just too scared. It's so fucking stupid. Like, they weren't directly in on it. They made no plans. They didn't really know what was going on. But they want to shut you up because they're terrified. Like, thanks for nothing, asshole. Yeah, how else have you put it before? Like, if you're alive right now, you probably are related to some kind of royalty. Somewhere in the background of something. Because those are the people they let live. Yet, like, everyone. If you're alive right now, no matter what your station you are in life at the moment, probably related to somebody that did some shit. If they've been cleansing everybody annually for decades. Well, yeah, you have to go back, even to, like, yeah, the 12th century. Medieval period times. You have no idea just how long they've been doing this shit and, like, passing it on. Maybe that's what the patriarchy really is. And why there's, like, any odd fucking... Like, they won't just let go and not do that and have equals. Because it's like a brotherhood thing they've been passing on since fucking 500 AD. I don't know. That just fits for me because I think you have like a benefit into like that we should have been way over by now. There shouldn't even be like constant like we need to have this dialogue about women and women's rights and women's representation because you keep getting second classed because you're not in on some sick joke, or you're not the center circle. Some women, they're like, they got the outer circle, they've been let in that much, and so they fuck other women over. Yeah, it's what is it called? Your proximity to power. So a woman marries a powerful guy, she feels more powerful, and she's shitting on a woman that's not as powerful instead of being like in solidarity. Yeah, the idea of somebody saying, go home, we're good. You're not good. You're fucking monsters. That there's nothing good about you. Like, yeah, whatever was good is lost because you just want to like own people. You lost your humanity. You're monsters. You're more monster than human. I feel like I need to go to sleep again. Yeah, who knows if they are doing something to me that makes me so tired every like hour. But it's not a fucking coincidence. You just keep getting like you chug caffeine and you're still tired. Yeah, there's a lot to have said in the last hour. That's how it is. And you got like hours and hours and hours of like a lot of shit that you needed to say. And it isn't just like whatever dismissive bullshit someone comes up with that's like as if it's not important enough. I'm just trying to, like, is there anything I really want to make sure is in this before I put it up? Yeah, I'm fully aware that everything could be gone like that. I mean, if, like, someone shuts down the power grid, no matter the Library of Alexandria, like, that is the internet. Yeah, you would want people to be dumb. You're a monster. Yeah, universal human rights or everything is bullshit, and I really fucking mean it. It's 12:02 a.m. Friday, November 8th, 2024.